Five Nights at Freddy's was the first installment in the FNaF series. Today we will be doing a video essay about the first FNaF game and its lore. We will slowly make our way through the FNaF games. I am your host, ThatGamer152, and this is my FNaF 1 essay. Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNaF, was made in 2014 as a last-ditch effort by Scott Cawthon, a struggling game developer. His previous game was named Tripper & Sons Lumber Co. It was released a year before the first FNaF game, being released on November 6, 2013. The game was about a beaver named Tyke, and you play as Tyke, so Tyke, the player, must complete different tasks that his father, Chipper, gives him. But we aren't here to talk about Chipper & Sons. We're here to talk about the aftermath of the game coming out, because it was not received very well by critics or fans. Reportedly, one of the only reviews for the game complained the animal characters looked like scary animatronic characters, such as the ones from Chuck E. Cheese. These reviews had led Scott to give them something terrifying. The game was submitted to Steam Greenlight on June 13th, 2014. However, it would be a while before the game was allowed on Steam. The same day, on June 13th, Scott would post some gameplay footage of the game. Then, a day later, a trailer was posted on YouTube. This trailer begins with Freddy, the main character, performing, then it switches to the whole band performing. Throughout the trailer, various pieces of text are shown. One thing to note is that during the trailer, a screen of the animatronics looking at the camera is shown. However, this never appeared in the game, no matter how many people say it did. Another thing to note is that in the trailer, Bonnie is shown running down the hallway. However, it is not known if Foxy didn't run at this point in development or if it was just a surprise. The same day, a Kickstarter was started and interestingly called Freddy Bear. This was probably an early name for the character. Sadly, a couple days later, the Kickstarter would be ended, raising $0. The main reason Scott didn't get any money was because the game wasn't very well known at this point in its history. On July 23rd, a demo was released on Amazon. Then, on August 8th, the game was published on Desora. Later, the Amazon page would receive the full game. It is unknown when they received it. The same day Desora got FNaF 1, a Let's Player by the name Jim Sterling posted a video of them playing FNaF. Then, on August 14th, 2014, FNaF would be greenlit on Steam. Along with the release, there would be a 1.10 update for the game. However, the full game wouldn't come out on Steam until August 18th, 2014. You play as a security guard named Mike Schmidt. The gameplay is fairly simple. You have two doors to the left and right of you, and you can close them at any time if the animatronics get too close to your office. You also have lights to see outside your office. However, you have limited power, so keeping the doors closed will drain your power. You also have a camera monitor to look around the restaurant. But if you run out of power, Freddy will jump scare you. You get paid about $120 at the end of the week, and thus that's $4 an hour. Greatly underpaid if you ask me. Speaking of Freddy, he only comes out around night 3, never before, unless you run out of power. He also is the only one able to jump scare you if the power goes out. He mainly sticks to the right side of the restaurant, staying in the shadows. However, when he gets to the bathroom, he goes into the girls' bathroom. This could be lore significant or not. We don't know yet. Anyways, Bonnie. he is usually the first to leave the stage. He likes to be up in the camera and stick around the door a lot, draining your battery quickly. He moves around the left side of the building. One thing to note is that Phone Guy says the animatronics think we're a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. But we know this isn't true because Bonnie goes to the back room all the time, yet he ignores the endoskeleton in there. Chica's next. Like Freddy, Chica stays to the right side of the building. She often looks too alive, which is the opposite of how Bonnie looks. She doesn't really show up that much, preferring to stay in the kitchen for long periods of time. Foxy is possibly the most different one. He stays in his cove 90% of the game until he begins to peek out of his cove, in which he has around 2 stages. After the last stage, he begins to run down the hallway, and if you don't close the door in time, then... And the last one, Golden Freddy, or Yellow Bear as he is called in the files, is the most mysterious animatronic in FNaF. It's Me will randomly appear as well, especially when Golden Freddy appears. I kind of prefer the Yellow Bear name, but whatever. Anyways, the way to summon him is random, as the picture of Freddy in the hallway corner can switch to a picture of a yellow version of Freddy. If you flip down the camera, he will be sitting there staring at you. And if you don't flip the camera up in time, Six days before the full game came out, a small YouTuber known as Markiplier would post a video of him playing Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time. This one post garnered over 121 million views. Then, on August 31st, a music artist known as the Living Tombstone would release a video simply titled Five Nights at Freddy's One Song. The song detailed the children of the animatronics possessing the suits from their perspective. Around a month later, Game Theory would post their massive video detailing the lore of the game. There were Let's Plays, fan songs, animations, Minecraft videos, and theory videos. Things would be pretty different if FNaF never came to be, and I could never do it justice in this video. So let's move on to the story of Five Nights at Freddy's isn't as straightforward as it might seem. So you play as a security guard working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Due to tapes left for you by the previous security guard, you can learn how to survive the animatronic characters. The first pieces of lore we get are newspaper clippings describing 5 children going missing on the premises, and thus Freddy's gets threatened with closure. But eventually someone is convicted, but the children's bodies are never found. Revisiting the security footage, they find that the main suspect was wearing a costume of one of the characters and lured the children to the back room where they were supposedly murdered. After a while, people started reporting that they saw what looked like blood and mucus coming from the eyes and mouths of the animatronic characters. Some also reported that the characters began to stink and smell like death. Other hints of lore are that the pictures in the hallway can change to pictures of crying children. Phone Guy, the guy on the phone, also mentions a mysterious bite of 87 where a patron was bitten by an animatronic and lost their frontal lobe. Possibly Foxy because his cove is closed. So what does this all mean? Well, let me put it together for you. We start at an unknown date, possibly the early 80s, and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens for the first time and business is booming. However, fast forward to 1987 and an animatronic bites a person's head, making them immediately need to go to the hospital and get a surgery to remove their frontal lobe. This event would be known as the Bite of 87. Freddy's then would have lost its fame from the event and become not very popular in the public eye. However, after the bite, an employee would get in an animatronic suit and lure away 5 kids and kill them in the back room of the pizzeria. Then he would stuff the kids into the suits. The suspect was caught and arrested, but the bodies of the children were never found, and the place would get shut down over people not wanting to dine at a place where kids went missing. From what we know, the kids possess the robots. Five Nights at Freddy's is possibly the most popular horror game in history. This game gave us shocking new gameplay styles that we hadn't used yet. I cannot possibly cover everything FNaF did in just its 10-year lifespan. But I can say one thing. Thank you, Scott, for all the screams, nightmare, fun, and enjoyment of millions of people around the world. And thank you, Scott, for 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's.